In a world that constantly demands more from us, where success often feels like a battle of egos, one question remains. What truly sets the confident apart from the rest? We've all encountered people who walk into a room with their heads held high, their presence undeniable, as if they've mastered the art of control. But what is the secret that underpins their power? Is it charm, intelligence, or perhaps a certain kind of subtle manipulation? Niccolo Machiavelli, a name synonymous with power and strategy, believed that there was one defining trait of the truly confident, one that went beyond appearances and charisma, deeper than any superficial qualities. This trait, though often overlooked, is the key to mastering not just personal success, but the art of influence and authority over others. Imagine a man who, despite the chaos around him, remains calm, collected, and in control of every situation. He doesn't need to shout, manipulate, or dominate because his confidence radiates in a way that others cannot ignore. His presence alone is enough to command respect. And yet, there's something more, something that doesn't quite add up, something that makes him untouchable. This, according to Machiavelli, is not just confidence, it's something far deeper. But what is this trait? What makes the truly confident stand apart from the crowd? It's the ability to embrace uncertainty without fear, to remain unshaken in the face of adversity. The powerful understand that in order to wield true influence, they must first be able to control their own perceptions, emotions, and actions. Confidence, in this sense, is not about being perfect or invincible. It's about being able to remain grounded even when the world around you is in chaos. This is the essence of Machiavelli's teachings, the ability to act decisively, to manipulate circumstances to your advantage, and above all, to know when and how to exert control without showing it. It's the power of subtlety, of being able to influence events and people without needing to visibly force an outcome. And in this quiet confidence lies true power, something that cannot be easily stolen, mimicked, or broken. As we explore Machiavelli's insights, we'll uncover how the most powerful figures in history embodied this trait, and why it's more important than ever today. But it's not just about learning to command power from others. It's about mastering the power within yourself. Imagine being able to walk through life not as a follower or a passive participant, but as someone who understands the delicate balance of influence. What would it feel like to tap into that potential, to stand in the face of fear and doubt, and still rise above it all? But here's the real question. How far are you willing to go to unlock this power? To truly embody the essence of the confident, as Machiavelli envisioned? As we dive deeper into this journey, remember, the most confident individuals are not always the loudest in the room, but they are certainly the ones who leave the greatest impression. Stick with me as we delve into the key trait that could transform your approach to confidence forever, and it's something you might never have expected. Stay tuned, because what comes next may just change the way you see power and influence forever. To understand this elusive trait of true confidence, we must first look back at Machiavelli's own life. Born into a time of political upheaval and instability, Machiavelli wasn't just a scholar. He was a man who lived through betrayals, power struggles, and the kind of manipulation that defined the era. His writings, especially The Prince, are often seen as cold and calculating. But what if they held something deeper? What if Machiavelli wasn't simply teaching how to manipulate others, but how to protect yourself from being manipulated? How to rise above the noise, unshaken by the forces trying to control you? In his observations of leaders, princes, and generals, Machiavelli noticed a pattern. Those who succeeded were not always the most noble or the most virtuous. They weren't always the loudest in the room either. In fact, some of the most powerful individuals in history were the ones who understood how to navigate uncertainty, adapt to the moment, and remain calm when the world around them was in chaos. They possessed a quiet, almost invisible confidence that made them seem untouchable. They knew when to appear weak to their enemies, only to strike when least expected. They could play the game without ever seeming like they were playing it. And more importantly, they knew the power of perception. Perception. It's not just what others think of you, but how you make them think of you. It's the subtle art of controlling the narrative without ever lifting a finger to do so. The truly confident don't need to declare their worth to the world. Their actions, their silence, and their calculated presence speak louder than any boast. And it's in this silence, this understated control, where the true power lies. But how can we, in our everyday lives, harness this kind of confidence? We live in a world full of distractions, where everyone is shouting to be heard. The media bombards us with ideals of beauty, success, and happiness. Social media pushes us to put our best faces forward, constantly seeking validation from others. Yet, even in the noise, there are those who seem to rise above it all. They don't conform, they don't follow trends, and they certainly don't seek approval. Instead, they create their own narrative, their own path, in a way that makes others follow them without question. But what happens when this power is challenged? What happens when the truly confident are forced to confront the very thing they've spent their lives mastering, their own vulnerability? Could it be that true confidence doesn't come from perfection or control, but from embracing your flaws and using them to your advantage? The questions start to pile up, and the answers may not be as clear-cut as we'd like. But one thing is certain, this journey into understanding Machiavelli's teachings on confidence is far from over. As we continue to delve deeper into this concept of confidence, we start to see cracks forming in the illusion of control. It's easy to believe that the truly confident are untouchable, that they hold all the power. But what happens when their confidence is put to the test? When the very thing they've built their reputation on, this invisible strength, is threatened? Can it survive when the world turns against them? Take a moment and think about the leaders, the influential figures in your life. We often see them from the outside, admiring their calm demeanor, their ability to make decisions effortlessly. But beneath that exterior, what if their confidence is built on something much darker? What if they have been playing a dangerous game of self-deception, building an image that they themselves are starting to believe? What happens when that image begins to crumble, when the cracks in their carefully constructed world begin to show? This is where the real conflict lies, the battle between perception and reality. The truly confident must not only control how others perceive them, but they must also confront their own inner demons. Behind every powerful leader, every seemingly untouchable figure, there are fears, insecurities, and vulnerabilities. And when these come to light, the question becomes, can they maintain their hold over the narrative, or will the truth unravel everything they've worked for? Imagine being that person, the one who everyone admires, who seems to have it all figured out. But what happens when a single, unexpected event forces you to confront your deepest insecurities? When the pressure of maintaining your image becomes unbearable? This is where the true test of confidence begins, not in how others see you, but in how you see yourself when everything around you starts to fall apart. The story is just beginning, and the stakes are higher than ever. The tension continues to rise as the confident figure begins to feel the weight of their carefully constructed world crashing down around them. What seemed like unshakable confidence is now showing signs of fragility. The unexpected event that forced them to confront their vulnerabilities was just the beginning. The deeper they dive into their own fears and insecurities, the more they realize that the line between control and chaos is razor thin. As the days pass, the pressure mounts. Every decision, every move feels like it could be their last. They begin to second-guess every action, wondering if their confidence is genuine or simply a mask they've worn for too long. The world is watching, and their every step is scrutinized by those who once admired them. Friends, colleagues, even their closest allies begin to show signs of doubt, unsure of the person they thought they knew. In the midst of this turmoil, they start to question the very trait they've relied on all their life. Was it really confidence that got them to this point? Or was it something else? Something darker, perhaps? A manipulation of others? A game of power that they've played so well that even they began to believe it. The lines between authenticity and deceit blur, and they are left wondering if their true self will ever surface again, or if they've lost it in the process of becoming someone they never were. As the walls close in, a final, unexpected challenge emerges. One that could shatter everything, a confrontation, an ultimatum, something that will force them to either confront their deepest fears or lose everything they've fought so hard to build. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the audience is left on the edge of their seats wondering, will they rise above this challenge, or will the facade of confidence crumble into dust? The stage is set, and the tension is at its peak. The real test of their strength is about to unfold. Just when it seemed like everything was teetering on the edge of collapse, a second, more shocking twist arrives. The confident figure, already questioning their own integrity, faces an unexpected betrayal. The person they trusted most, someone they believed was loyal, turns against them in the most public way possible. The carefully crafted narrative they had so meticulously maintained begins to unravel faster than they can stop it. The betrayal hits harder than any external attack. It's not just the loss of trust, it's the loss of their own perception of reality. The people who were once in their corner, watching them from a distance with admiration, now start to whisper behind their back. Their allies, once so supportive, begin to question everything. Was their confidence truly earned, or was it just a product of manipulation? Had they been fooled into thinking that they were in control, when in fact the power was never really theirs to begin with? As the news of the betrayal spreads, the audience's perception of the confident figure shifts. What was once seen as unshakable authority now seems fragile and vulnerable. The confidence that had defined them is no longer a shield. It's a mask, and the cracks are starting to show. The question becomes not whether they can maintain their control, but whether they can salvage any part of their identity at all. The plot thickens as new revelations come to light. The person behind the betrayal isn't just anyone. They are a rival, someone who has been waiting for the right moment to strike. They've been quietly observing, learning every weakness, every fear. Their move wasn't an accident, it was carefully planned, a calculated blow meant to destroy everything the confident figure has worked for. The rival knows that now, with the confidence shattered, they can take everything. The power, the influence, everything is within their grasp. But as the rival pushes forward, a part of the confident figure awakens. They realize that this betrayal isn't just the end. It's a new beginning, an opportunity to reclaim what's been lost. However, reclaiming their power won't be easy. They'll have to confront their past mistakes, their own darkest fears, and perhaps even the shadow of their own ego. The game has changed. The stakes have never been higher, and the audience is left wondering, can they rise from the ashes of their own destruction, or will this betrayal be their final fall? The clock is ticking, and the tension continues to build. Every choice, every action is more crucial than ever. Will they recover, or will they become just another fallen figure in the long line of those who couldn't maintain their hold on power? The answer lies just beyond the horizon, but it's still unclear whether the confident figure can rise to meet it. The tension reaches a fever pitch as the confident figure, battered and bruised from the betrayal, finally decides to take control once more. They've been knocked down, their foundation shaken to its core, but now they face the ultimate choice: give in to the darkness or rise again, stronger and wiser. The rival, who had once seemed unbeatable, now faces the full force of the confident figure's resolve. What they didn't count on was the true nature of the power they had underestimated all along. It wasn't just about perception or manipulation as they had thought. The true strength of the confident figure lay in something deeper, something they had never allowed anyone, not even themselves, to see until now. It wasn't a polished image or a well-crafted facade. It was the ability to learn from their mistakes, to face the harshest truths and transform them into something powerful. This resilience, this willingness to rise from the ashes, was the ultimate trait of the truly confident. It wasn't the ability to be perfect, but the ability to continue even when everything seemed lost. With newfound clarity, they confront their betrayer head-on. The rival, prepared for this moment, tries to maintain their calculated advantage, but they quickly realize something they hadn't accounted for. The confident figure no longer fears failure. They no longer care about maintaining the illusion of perfection. Instead, they've embraced their flaws, their mistakes, and used them as weapons. Every misstep, every doubt, has only fueled their growth, not destroyed it. And in this moment, they become a force unlike any other. But just as the rival begins to falter, something truly unexpected happens. The confident figure doesn't destroy their opponent. Instead, they offer them an olive branch, a chance for redemption. In a world where power is often taken through force, the confident figure realizes that the true measure of strength lies in the ability to forgive. In a stunning twist, they not only overcome the rival, but also disarm the very weapon that had been used against them. The rival, left in shock, has no choice but to back down. The confident figure, having confronted their own darkest fears, now stands in complete control, not over others, but over themselves. They've won the battle, not by dominating, but by evolving. The audience watches, breathless, as they emerge from the chaos, no longer the perfect image they once tried to portray, but something far more powerful, a person who has truly embraced their own humanity. But just when it seems like the story is over, another unexpected twist emerges. The rival, now defeated, turns to walk away, but a hidden smile spreads across their face. It's not over yet. The game has only just begun. The confident figure may have won the battle, but the war for true power is still far from finished. The story leaves the audience on edge, knowing that the greatest challenge is yet to come. As the rival walks away, their smirk betrays a subtle confidence, but it's clear now that the power has shifted. The confident figure watches them go, not with anger or resentment, but with a quiet understanding. The real victory, they now realize, isn't in the battles won or the enemies defeated. It's in the transformation that has taken place within themselves. The rivalry, the betrayal, the struggle, it all led to this moment of clarity. They've learned the most crucial lesson of all. True confidence isn't about control over others, but control over oneself. The journey has not been easy, and the scars from the betrayal will remain, but these scars are no longer signs of weakness. They are reminders of the strength that comes from vulnerability, from embracing imperfection, and from pushing forward even when it seems impossible. The confident figure, having faced their fears and doubts head-on, now walks with a sense of peace that they never had before. They know they can weather any storm because the storm they feared most was never the outside world. It was their own inner chaos. And by confronting it, they have learned to stand unshaken, even when everything around them is falling apart. As the dust settles and life begins to return to some semblance of normalcy, the audience is left with a sense of profound change. The confident figure's journey is not one of immediate victory or external success, but of internal growth. They've learned that true power doesn't come from appearances, manipulation, or perfection. It comes from understanding who you are, flaws and all, and being able to stand firm in that truth. In the end, the rival, though temporarily defeated, will continue their own journey. But they've been given a glimpse into a world they hadn't considered, one where confidence isn't about conquering others, but about mastering oneself. Perhaps they too will one day learn this lesson, but for now, the confident figure has emerged victorious, not by overpowering their adversary, but by becoming the person they were always meant to be. The story concludes, but the message lingers. Confidence isn't about being unbreakable. It's about knowing that even when you break, you can rebuild, stronger than before. And that is the power that no one can ever take away.